All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite show. It is the Center Street Boys. And we are back again with episode number 6, I
Yes,
believe.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is your hosts, Strap, S.T.RAP, Dez, DEZ, Dipo, DIPO, and we are the Center Street Boys. How have you been doing, fellas?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. What's going on, man? What's going on there? Everything is good.
In my world, I'm just trying to stay afloat. You know, with the technology is always good when it's working, but when it's not working, I mean, it could cause mayhem, to say the least. How about in your world, guys? I hope everything is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it's getting hotter by the day in Texas, so you know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I forgot.
Surprisingly, I was gonna say, I was in Dallas. When was that? Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty hot down there, man. It was it
Yeah.
was it was really hot. It's been hot in Boston too, but surprisingly today, the weather is kind of nice. We're in the 60s, so
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Texas is not too bad. Houston going to that Louisiana area, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Even Austin. I mean,
I take Austin. I think for Houston, Louisiana,
the
it's the
swamps.
humidity, the swamps, the weather, the water part of it that I think gets the people. You find yourself quickly drenched in sweat.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't you find it funny when you're around like your colleagues and when you complain about the heat and they're like, "But you're from Africa." I'm like, "No,
Man,
it's a different type of
It's
heat."
not. It's not the same thing, man. It's not the same thing. It's not. It's really not.
Yeah.
I think. I think. I think. I was talking to Des about this one when he was here. It's like the reason why we complained or saw it that way is just because it's a constant. It was a constant temperature for us.
Yeah.
I think year in year out for the most months of the year, it was always above 75 degrees to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So we thought it was bad, but here just for the 4 months of the year, it's a killer, man.
Oh yeah. I agree. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a great topic for you guys, and I'll let Deepo run this topic so we could start discussing.
Yeah. It's been a while since we all left um, Emporia ESU. I think what brought us all together was the fact that we came from. We all at some point met ourselves at Emporia State University. You can see the shirt. Let me
Property
boost
of
up
the
a little
state.
bit.
free publicity.
Property of
Free
the Empire
publicity.
State.
Oh, yeah, ESU got sent a check, man.
But I
So
want to talk. You say, and I know, keep your thought deeper there, but just a food for thought here. I've met a lot, even living in Kansas. I've met a lot of people that have college pride, but they don't even go to the school. I know people that support KU,
Yep.
but
yeah,
but in other conversation, when they hear that Strap works at a university, they're like, man, I would never go to a 4-year college. But you're KU head to toe watching their basketball games. I mean, that football team is not it's not a spectacle, or it's not a big. I mean, it does pull funds and money and all that, but I never understand college pride. I mean, I understand where it comes from, but if you don't go to that school, why do you even have this college pride? Is it based on the state? But that's a topic that you guys can integrate in this. But keep going, Des. I mean, Depot.
I think most times, not to segregate, most times it's based on the sport factor, right? So you have people who went to Empire State but always rep KU because they love basketball, or
Right.
maybe they were there for one semester, or they always want to go there. So they tend to rep. Because think about it, of all schools in Kansas, KU is probably the one that's repped the most
Mm-hmm.
because of the basketball team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, K State's they had a decent football team, but it wasn't really top tier compared to
Right.
KU. So you find a lot of people a lot of Empire State people repping KU, or even a
Yeah.
lot of guys in Wichita may be different.
Yeah.
So
Quite is kept. I was gonna
yeah,
say Kansas has some good basketball teams. Wichita State
yeah,
is highly ranked for a small
yeah.
university. I mean, depending on how you look at it, it's not like KU, which is traditional. I mean, everyone
Yeah,
knows KU worldwide. I mean,
yeah,
nationwide. But you were
yeah.
saying, as you were talking about where we came from.
Where we came from, I think a fun topic to kind of shed light on is our lifestyles now and then. What has changed? What has caused the change? It could be money, it could be wealth of knowledge, but how different are you when you first came to the States? I guess through those progressions, either maybe last year in high school, whatever, or college, grad school, or workforce. How'd your lifestyle change back and forth? So yeah, let's have a stab at it.
Man, that's a great topic, man. That's a good topic because it makes me want to go back and look, like look at the last 10 years or so from like let's say where I used to be to where I am now, and I know all of us can relate to that.
Yeah,
And for me, I would like to focus more on college because college has been like or was like one of the turning points for me to going from being a boy to becoming a man. A lot of things
yeah.
happened in college, and we did meet great people. We did a lot of crazy things, and yeah, here we are, man. Here we are. Yeah, before I keep going, I think Strap probably also has a little bit to say about that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, looking at that time frame, especially for people in our shoes who decided to leave home at a young
Yeah.
age, because your brain is still developing. They say your brain, you don't fully develop till you're like 25 or 20 something scientists say, where your frontal cortex and all these different parts of your brain, where even when you're 21 you're not even really a real adult. When you're
Yep.
18 you're not really your brain is not fully developed. So yeah, those were very formidable days, coming from a 19-year-old, a 18-year-old, stepping on a plane, leaving the comfort of their parents who have been nurturing and taking care of them, and then now you're here and you have no rules, you don't have curfew, you're just doing whatever you do, and now it's time for real lessons. So yeah, Des is right. I mean, it, it, there's a millions of stories to tell about that period, um but it's all growth, it's all
Yeah,
growth.
yeah.
Shed,
It's definitely. Yeah,
shed,
what's up,
shed light
Dipo?
on shed light on those stories. You guys keep saying, you both keep saying there's a lot of stories, but you're not
Man,
saying anything.
hold on, man. We get stories. We get to the stories later, man. Like like yeah, we got plenty of stories,
All
but
right.
that's
Right.
that's not that's not the main focus of this topic. It's still be part of it, but not the main focus. Um, everyone has a past.
Uh,
Everyone has a
yeah.
past.
Right.
Nobody's clean. Nobody can
It's
claim
all
to be clean.
lessons, it's all
Yeah,
lessons.
yeah, definitely. But yeah,
Lessons,
man.
lessons learned, I guess.
Hmm.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Lessons
There you go.
Yeah.
learned.
There you go.
But yeah, definitely, man. Like just like Strap was saying, I think over the years, man, we have learned to grow, especially like you said, for us being away from family, coming here for school, and getting to learn a new culture and just trying to become independent. That's not easy for like an 18, 19-year old
Yeah.
to do. And so kudos to you, both of you guys, because I'm
Yeah.
I'm proud to see you guys, to see where you guys at in life today,
Right.
because it's not. I know it was not an easy journey,
Yeah.
and we've definitely learned a lot along the way. So it's always good to look back from like, hey, this is where we came from, and this is where we're going. This is where we are today. And for me personally, I believe that as human beings, we are meant to evolve, mature
Right.
over the years. So before I get to that point, let me tell you something. Let me tell our listeners and our viewers something. If you're still living the same lifestyle and you still have the same mindset that you had about 10, 12, 15 years ago, you should start asking yourself, am I growing? Because as human beings, we're not meant to be doing the same thing for like 10, 15, 20 years. Growth means you have to change. And change comes with like a lot of different things and a lot of lessons, and like you go through so much, not always successful, it's part of life, but you get to learn along the way how to evolve or become a better version of yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, true, true. I think for me, my transition coming from Nigeria here was a little smoother than maybe not, but maybe not smoother. But when I came here, I was 17. My brother was already here in college. Fortunately for me, his college is about 15 minutes from where I was, so I think that kind of helped stabilize me a bit. It made the culture shock not as immense as it was for a lot of other people. So I think I had like about 9 months to kind of immerse myself in the culture, get used to things away from school, So it was I think it was great for me coming to the system that way. And by the time I finally started school at ESU, I was used to the culture. Not to say I wasn't familiar with the culture. Obviously, being from Nigeria, how the entertainment industry works. Portraying things, whether or not they're true or not, that's up for debate. But at least that transition wasn't as difficult as it was when you put in mind, as international students, especially Strap working when we worked as international ambassadors, when you see how difficult it was for other Africans from different countries, or just just people in general from different walks of life, or
Right.
different continents, how difficult it was for them to transition from the countries here. I felt like I was fortunate enough to have things happen the way they were, and as time went on, 4 years passed, transitioning from one state to the other. It's been great. It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just.
So
Oh, sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I remember one thing that I could definitely point out was understanding that when you decide to take on that journey by yourself, of course, with aid from either parents, guardians, whoever your financer or whoever is your sponsor, to do what
Yep.
you're doing, to hop on a plane or travel away from where you originally from. One thing I could tell I mean initially was um, there's this perception that they had of international students, thought we all came from rich families. And I mean there were students that came from rich families that this was like
Yeah.
vacation and paid, and they they're going to Vegas or during school breaks, and
Yep.
while some people had to go and find summer jobs. It was very interesting, just that outlook of
Yeah.
how quickly you realize we are all not the same. We don't
Yeah.
come from the same background, and we're not a monolith when it comes to background. And
Yeah.
we're not the African students are not like like the Chinese students or the Saudi. Anyway, but I was just
Yeah.
just thinking about what
It,
you
but
said.
but it humbles you though. Not like you've not like for me coming from. I think another thing that kind of helped me get meshed in the system quicker is the fact that I went to boarding school for middle high school. So that process also kind of humbles you as well, because you go from living your parents 24/7, now you're living with guys that you met when you were 10 through 16, 17, different classes, some better off than others. It builds character. um I think of all things, that span of those 6 years is probably what I feel helped me the most when I transitioned here, because by the time I was done with high school, um I let go of a lot of things that were superficial, weren't really important. Now,
Right.
obviously, you all pray that your parents are wealthy or not, but sometimes your parents are solid middle class, citizens,
Right.
who have good jobs, have the ability to send you to school. They might not give you the fanciest things and whatnot, but it's up to you to decide how you decipher that? Do you appreciate what you have and move with it and work towards, being the better version of yourself? Fast forward to 2020, look at where we are now, as individuals. Or do you fall under the peer pressure and try to, move into a space that you don't belong in?
Right.
I feel like those things, when we're talking about lifestyles then and now, to me, those are probably one of the strongest things that I hold dearly. Moving through life from 10 through 20, 10, from me being 10 years old to the person I am today. So
Yeah, so I do have something to say about that, guys. And here's the thing. Yes, we've been looking at this from an international perspective, as in like being international students. Oh yes, it's always been something interesting when someone has to leave their home city, home country, and go like to a whole different place, and they have to learn. And most of the time, I mean, you don't have to learn everything from scratch, but it's like you learning to live somewhere that, and just being able to fit in. That's the
yep,
word I'm looking for. You want to fit in. And For me, uh, I can tell you a little bit about my the reason why I came to the U.S. in the first place was because I always say this: I wanted to be independent. I've always had a mindset from like a young age where I wanted to be independent, do things on my own, because I realized if I was not independent, I had to rely on my pops or my moms to like provide for me all the time.
yep,
Like I'm not getting the freedom that I think I deserved as a man. So I felt like to be able to just like make something out of like myself, whether it's a
yep,
career, whether it's college, like will mean getting the respect, and getting your parents' respect means a lot. And at the
yep,
same time, also I'm building something for myself, where I can look back and say I worked hard for every single thing that I have, or most of what I have, and I can tell my kids in the future that like you don't have to feel that, hey, I wasn't born with this, it means I can't get it. You can work
yep,
for it to be able to get it.
yep,
However, fellas, I would like to also just talk about what it means for you as a man, not like an African man or international student, because some of our listeners and viewers are not international, so
Right.
they can
yep,
relate to that part of the topic. So just being able to go back and look at things that they used to be in college or like growing up to like what they are now. What are the big changes in your life? Whether it's like lifestyles such like food and like fitness, your social life, your relationships with people, how you are approaching people. Like just let's draw a contrast between like college days or like early, like teenhood to like now, you know.
For me personally, it's time. Like I hardly have time for anything. I mean, I remember my Ali on my late teen time. I would really, you know, always look for what to do. So, Gary, what's happening? What's happening this Friday now? I'm asking for like when can I go find some time to sit by myself, even though I know you guys are all in your situation in the household, right? But for me, even my bathroom breaks are like my favorite time. So the only time I'm gonna go use the bathroom, I'm like, yes, time to myself, time to reflect on life, time to even plan stuff, time to, because right now, uh, as you guys all know, I do like so many things. Like I make music, I work, I'm a father, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm working on 2 podcasts, 3 podcasts actually. Other podcasts I do like their graphics and I edit their videos. So, but I like this. This is fun to me. This is like my vacation, which is my vocation. So my work is my vacation. I don't like going to the beach. I've always thought that was overrated, going to a sandy place. I mean, it's fun. It looks good for pictures. I understand my girl may want to do that. To me, like I don't like the beach. I mean, I like to travel, but I don't like the beach. But to me, comparing myself then to now, I think I've become more I don't like crowds now. Back then, I
Yeah.
wanted to be the crowds. I wanted to be. I had the fear of missing out. I had the fear of, oh my God, this happened and I was not there. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
another thing. Then comparing then and now, I'm not afraid to just be different. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to be myself. Back then, I thought integrating always was the natural thing because, it just felt like no, it felt like you don't want to stand out to be looked at because now you want to fit in. But
Right.
now I'm not afraid to say, you know what, I have my own style. I'll do my own thing. But I'll be evaluated. I'll be judged off the quality of person that I am. It's not because I'm not wearing what is popular, what the cool kids are wearing. So I think that also comes with age. It comes with, I think when you hit like maybe mid 20s or close to 30s, you just get the effort factor where if you want to wear the same three clothes for the whole week, you wear them the whole week, even though you have a closet full of things that you could wear, but you just don't care. You're not up here to impress anybody. You're not here,
Yeah.
and it's also not a good thing because you can lose yourself. You can stop taking care of yourself. You can stop working out. But that's it. That's part of life. That's part of growing up and realizing who am I trying to impress? Am I trying to impress myself? Who am I really trying to impress? Because and that comes also with knowing yourself, like we talked earlier.
Yeah.
Wisdom of self-knowledge. When you start knowing yourself, and it feels good. I won't lie to you, it feels good compared to my earlier days where I even didn't know myself, first of all. I knew myself to a little bit, but I didn't know what really I wanted, first of all. I didn't know what
Yeah.
occupation I wanted to be. And now that's the confusion of a young, late or early adolescent to a grown man who now has a daughter. And now how many things impress me. I don't even know what the new music is out. I make music, but I'm like, and it's not good. I'll tell you the truth. We still have to have that childish mentality, childlike feeling to grow and live life and enjoy life. Life
Yeah.
is always about being a child, but I know sometimes, like Dipo
That's
said
that's
last,
the youthful.
yeah, we become, the older we get, we start being more optimistic and we become pessimists.
Yeah, quick question, Swap. Quick question. I mean, I like what you're saying because I can relate to most of that as well. But I have a question for you. So, would you say you saw yourself living the lifestyle you live today, like way back in college? Like, because some people are like, man, they're like,
I can
hey,
answer that.
like, yeah, let me party now. Let me party, go ham, and then after college, I'm gonna settle and like stay at home. And some people are like, man, I'm just gonna party until the wheels fall off. I don't care. I don't know when that's gonna stop. I'm just gonna keep doing it. But like, what is it for you? Like, how did the change happen for you?
Absolutely not, to be honest. If I was looking at myself in college, if I take myself back, and I would probably laugh at the person that I am today. If I was going back to being like 21 and I'm seeing who Strap is right now, what Strap wakes up and does, like Home Depot is like fun to me. Going to buy house accessories is fun. Um, you know, waking up and fixing, projects in the garage and mowing is fun to me now. But back then I'm like, who's that old washed up dude, man? Like,
Yeah, I know, right?
like
Yeah.
I would laugh at myself. I was like, man, if I'm 30, I'm seeing myself with abs, I'm seeing myself with tattoos, or maybe making some music, doing something, touring the world. I'm like, what's this guy doing, man? Who's lost, he's gained weight, he's doing whatever and he doesn't care. I'm like, man, I would never want, but I understand that's growth. Maybe at 21, I don't know the benefits that I'm getting from this, staying home 90% of the time. I don't go out. I don't go to the bars. I'm not going to the
Yeah,
bars even before, so this would be boring. I won't lie to you.
yeah, yeah. Deepo,
I'll be
talk to me,
making fun.
man. Talk
Yeah.
to me.
I don't know. For me, um, factoring in most of my life, I've always had a lot of older brother figures. You can see that from the podcast. I have two elder brothers. ESU, most of the guys I hung around were older. So I had a chance to learn from other people's experiences a lot, which means may be a good or bad thing, which means I got the chance to not go all the way to the deep end because I saw, yeah, that's not good.
Lucky you.
So when it comes to things really changing drastically, I don't think I've really seen that drastic of a change in regards to how, things happen. Yes, obviously some things have changed. For example, back in college, Des probably knows this best. In sports wise, I play 2-3 games in a weekend. Do that 4 or 5 days a week. You can't do that anymore. You have a lady. Whether or not you have the time, that's not the
Right.
question. Question is, you providing the time for you and your spouse and your significant other to actually do things together, work out together. Go for walks, go for those type of activities or do things together. So I think for me, that aspect has changed structurally. Not so much. I still try to, Strap probably knows this most because I think we lived together the most when Des was out of town for a bit. But even to his comment in regards to you knowing yourself, he probably knows this best. I was very, very, I was cautious of things I wanted to partake in and didn't want to. If it wasn't my thing, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. And it was always, we keep talking, we keep coming back to it, but that peer pressure factor never really got to me that much. So I think much hasn't changed because obviously now we're not in that crowd, so you don't see those guys as much. So you don't, that pressure's really not there. It's up to you to decide what you want to do day in, day out. But back then, I also kind of had kind of a solid mindset. It's like, okay, there's a limit to what I'm willing to do. Once we get to a certain level, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'll
Yeah.
take my butt to sleep, or So yeah,
Yeah, man. Man, yeah, that's great, man. That's great to hear that. And Deepo, yeah, you lucky because yeah, you did have some people you could learn from and look at our mistakes and
yeah,
like not do them. So that's great. I mean, that's what it's about, man. Like just learn from the past, learn from people around you how to do better.
yeah.
So I'm about to share a little bit of something that could be personal to a certain level. Des back in college. So this is traits for you guys here. I know Swap and Deep already know that, but yeah, our listeners and viewers, man. So here you go. Des back in college. So yeah, obviously college is cool. So the number one priority for me was school. Just before I keep going, something that I don't know why I've always been good at is being able to set my priorities straight. Um, like as a young person doesn't mean you stick to the plan because we have plans. We make plans like I want to do this, I want to party, I want to make money. But like what makes the difference between someone who's successful and someone who's not usually is being able to come up with a plan, stick with the plan, and just execute. Not everyone can execute a plan. You can come up with a big plan, but you may not be able to execute. But thank God, it's something I've always been good at, being able to set my priorities straight. College, obviously, for all of us, that was cool. We
Yeah.
all know it. However, like Strap was saying earlier, when you're in school, you don't have your pops and mom to like to tell you you can't do this and can't do that. You have the freedom. Obviously, you're gonna be doing more than school.
Yeah.
So that's where the party comes in. In college, yeah, I had school, but obviously I did party quite a bit. And I understand that this is part of life because like if you don't go through those stages of life, if you just focus on one thing, you don't get to experience different things. You're also missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People sometimes look at you as like, man, why are you partying in college? You're not supposed to be partying, man.
Right.
Nah, that's when yeah,
There's something you can learn from partying as well. Just so
yeah,
you know.
Right.
So for me, it was like school. It was partying, some drinking here. Fitness has always been a big thing for me. So did quite a bit of fitness, even though I didn't really have a clear plan or path to like what I wanted to look like. Maybe 5, 10 years from back then.
yeah,
It was more like I just want to look good because I want to party. Why you want to look good when you
yeah,
party? So that was just like short-term plans for me. But yeah, college was like a lot of ups and downs. I did make time to do my homework because I always knew there was a time to party and a time to do homework and
yeah,
study. Um, so it was a little bit of both, a little bit of everything I would say because I did learn a lot through my partying, through school, through like friends, like just
yeah,
been able to build relationships with you guys and other people. And when I look back today, if they ask me if I would change it for anything, I'll say no, because
So
I am the man I am today because of that. What's up, people?
that was that. I was itching for that question.
Yeah.
You know, the point you just made. What
Yeah.
what if anything? What would you guys change? Um, you know, is there anything you felt like you could have done better? Maybe I could have partied more, or maybe, I mean, some people. It's an honest thing, because you find out. Um, I'm not trying to bash. If you're a straight A student, that's fine, but you have to find a balance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the problem lies when people don't do that, and then you're 25 and you're trying to have fun that you should have had when you're in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
Strap. So before Strap jumps on, I know I have a little bit more to say, but obviously Strap want to say something. I'm gonna make this clear for our viewers and listeners. I am not telling you, my college students, to go out there and party all the time and not do your homework. I'm
Yeah.
saying, just like Dipo said, like you gotta find a balance. Like what are your priorities, right? Like,
yeah,
is it gonna be 70% partying and 30% school, or is it gonna be 20 and 80 the other way around? So for me, it was more like you know, you know what? I'm not gonna say the percentage, but I know I was able to find my balance back then, and that's what made who Dez is today. What's up, Strap?
For me, I mean, it's a very intimate question because I still think about that question about what I could have changed to become a better. Even I mean, I'm happy with the person I see in the mirror. I'm
yeah,
happy with all the opportunities I've had. Um, by far, even when I look back and to see what I've done and the proud that I bring to my parents and the things that I do, yeah, I mean, and that's all that my parents and my close family and the people that see that, oh, I see, you did us proud by being who you are. But it's a very intimate question, meaning that I know who I was in college. I know that I had the persona to those people that I used to party with, and they would not believe that I'll make it to class the next day. If you guys remember, I used to go hard.
it's that it's the
I used
Ugandan in him.
I used to go hard. I used to go hard. Like, I won't lie to you. Even in grad school, I developed a drinking problem. I was like drinking every day, but still writing papers. And the people that were partying with me, unfortunately, and I feel bad, my undergrad, a lot of them dropped out of school. A lot of them struggled, and I was hanging with them every day. The funny thing is, so this was my schedule. I worked at the rec. I had like two jobs. I think I worked with Sodexo on the rec.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to balance out my 20. There was a 20-hour limit.
Yep.
Like, yep. So I'm already busy back then, right? I used to cheat and do homework at the rec instead of watching people. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
true.
time I'm using to. People didn't know that was my trick. So I'm doing 3 or 4 hours at the rec. I'm using that to do my homework. I'm not working, which I don't recommend. You have to have integrity in work, right? But for me, something has to give because my free time was my free time. As soon as I'm out of class, either I'm going to the rugby field to go work out. I used to also work out quite a bit,
Yeah.
So I never had the time I would designate to the BS, which is, Des will call it party. Me, I'll call it a BS because it was just going somewhere. You have friends either having a shisha over there in the corner. You have people passing whatever, medication around. For me, my medication was the drink. So there's a bottle opens. We make sure the bottle's done. And guess what? 5 a.m. Good thing I had some good friends that would wake me up at 5 a.m. to go to work out. Des used to wake. We used to work out. We
Yeah,
did the
I
5
remember
a.m.
those days.
But I was
Yeah, that.
struggling. But even Des may, because that Des at that time was maybe working and he was probably going home. But I was crawling out of bed because I'm having all sorts of hangovers. I'm having all, but now because you told the homies Des and Dre that I'll join you guys. I'm struggling getting out of bed. They don't know I'm going to the bathroom. I'm throwing up, coming back to lift with them. I would never recommend because I'll tell you this: that thing damages your body. You can't go like that. You can't
Definitely.
go because first of all, you're killing your gains.
Yeah.
Secondly,
Yeah.
something has to give. But the good thing is, the thing that I had that some of the people that I used to party with is I knew I flew and went through a whole bunch of countries to come here to get this degree to make my
Yeah.
parents. So
So
the grades never fell off. The only thing that fell off was maybe relationships with people, because now you're just doing too much. This guy, like, because it becomes a habit. And sometimes that habit can even carry on into when you're not in college. You're like, man, now I have a free time. What am I going to do? I want to
yeah.
buy a whole bunch of beer. I want to do this, try to relive something which is, that's the only thing I would say is bad about the American college culture compared to where I'm from. Because where I'm from, people start drinking at 18 or start to, they have that
Yeah.
liberation. Here, when you turn 21, you go so hard. People go
Yeah.
so hard that,
It's a it's a big
you can
problem.
develop a
Yeah.
problem, especially if
Yeah.
you're around the wrong people. You can develop a problem when you don't even know it's a problem.
Yeah.
So that's
I
where
think.
the self-control is a good thing, and knowledge
Yeah.
of self, knowing who you are. But yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
so I said it's an intimate question,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't
I
change
mean,
it. I had fun.
yeah. I think to kind of tag on what Strap said at the end. I think that's probably what helped us stay afloat is coming from our systems. It wasn't necessarily the laws that applied to us, it was the morals that did. So someone, you could be drinking at 16, 17 back in Nigeria, or Uganda, or Congo, but it was more so, okay, is that really the right thing to do? So it was more so within you chastise yourself within yourself. So now you leave that system and you come to the States, and now you have the opportunity to go haywire. I mean, yes, you have fun, but it's still at the back of your mind. And I think one of the biggest things that we haven't referenced as to why we all had our priorities straight, is the money factor, right?
Right.
Where the money was coming from for school for the most part, or when we started, you can't afford to just go to school and just walk through school and not come out of it at the end, with something to show for it, because of how much money was spent to it. For most of us, at the times we started school, we didn't have chances. We don't have the chance to get student loans and things like that, so it wasn't necessarily easy. So it was like hard-earned money coming out from our parents' pockets. So for the first 4 years, you're like, yeah, I have to grind as hard as I can, and I'm gonna have fun, but I still have to know that at the end of this, I have to at least, have something to show for it. So
Yeah, man. Deepa. So I'm gonna say yes and no to that. Yes, because the upbringing and the basic, the foundation of who we are definitely plays a big part on the decisions that we make as people. Yeah, the values that we got from our families is huge. When it comes to like the person that you're going to become. Sometimes it can impact you in a positive way and sometimes in a negative way.
yeah,
No, because I have seen international people
yeah,
that, like that came from those families, you would say good families, and they get here and they lose all those values and do whatever,
true,
like so. So at the end of the day, like I say, it's about what are your priorities, right? Like Strap was saying, Strap knew his priorities were like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna do partying because I don't want to miss out. But when I go to the rec, I pull out my book and do my homework.
yeah.
Mhm.
So he had his priorities straight. And I know Dipo, you did have your priorities straight.
See, I
It
feel
was
like, so sorry to cut you off, but I feel like the when you the waywardness, I think it comes. It may not always be true, but it comes with what freedom did those folks have before they came to the States? Did they
Right.
have the chance to actually experience of some sort, or was it always a caged process, and then all of a sudden you let them loose?
yeah.
It's
I
it's
mean,
it's kind of what we talked about when we talk about age 21, right?
yeah,
21, and all of a sudden you want to go crazy. I feel like if coming from a good background, it's not just okay. I guess to correct myself, it's not just
Right.
okay to come from a good background. Your parents have to do the due justice to at least let you experience things, or
Right.
push you through certain situations. Okay, you did this. That's really not the best way to do. But
yeah.
when you put someone in such a tight structure,
Right.
Hmm.
once they leave, regardless of how great your parents may be pastors or whatever,
Right.
once they leave that system, you really can't control what happens after that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think this situation can be seen in two angles, right? The first angle is a person. Oh, okay, let's look at it in this way. We are talking about a story or a situation that can happen to an international student, a student that comes from a good upbringing. They travel, they come and they arrive here, and then nature takes its course. Naturalness happens, and then we also have locals or people from the States coming into the integration of college. They're getting integrated in college and the college culture, right? College culture will affect both of those people the same exact way, regardless of background, right? Affecting meaning they don't have to succumb or fold to that effect, but they will feel it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying college culture meaning what is portrayed either in the movies, what is portrayed in the on campus, whether it's promotions, Thirsty Thursday, Taco Tuesdays, all these different things that help us integrate into college culture, because we are all coming into college without an idea of college, whether you're international or whether you're local or whether you're from that state or whether you're from the country, right? So those are the two angles. But the thing about the international student that gives them a little chip on their shoulder is, or the out of state student, is that tuition is expensive. You're paying a lot, maybe even double. Second thing is the huddles that you have to go through before you even step on campus, from the visa's office, from the embassy, from getting all the different shots from my American fans may not know yellow fever, all these things that you go through, the biometrics, going through the line when you're on customs, which is for long, and then flying for all those hours, and then you finally make it on campus, and they make you go through another line of orientation. While the other angle is, hey, my parents are coming, they're gonna lay my bed, they're gonna fill up my thing with like little snacks. They're gonna fill up my Hornet card with all access meal. They're gonna do this. Bye. We'll come back next week. You could drive back home and have lunch. We'll do your laundry for you. Those are two different aspects. But that's the effect of college, going in there, meeting people that, like Des said, or Dipo said, upbringing. You'll find people with different upbringing. Some people a lot tighter upbringing where, they had structure, and some people that didn't have structure. Guess what? There's going to be the famous word of Will Smith, his wife, the entanglement of culture, right? So
entanglement,
the entanglement of culture. So you have all these different people that were raised up differently, entangling, and the peer pressure aspect happens where you meet people that you may deem as, or society may deem as, or in the college atmosphere may deem as cool, maybe fraternity people, maybe athletes, maybe this. So now you start, even though you come from a tight-knit family background, religious background, you start to integrate thinking that is the benchmark of cool. Or I'm gonna now dress like the athlete. I'm gonna do like the fraternity guys or the sorority girls, or the the netball, the basketball, or whatever, or whatever you look at that indoctrinated you to think that, or taught you to think that this is cool. So that's the thing. That's that effect. But that effect is also a lesson. So I'm not really going to say that me, with my mentality, knowing that I go hard both sides. I'm going hard partying. I'm going hard in class. I still had an understanding that, okay, I'm paying a lot of tuition. There's no way this could go, while the people that I was partying with, they're getting loans, student loans from Salome. So for them, colleges may be an option, or the military after that, or maybe go to a 2-year Vortec college and learn how to plumb, or do HVAC, or learn how to weld, and they'll still make money more than some college people that get degrees. So those are the two angles that you have to look at this, because the effect is the same, by the way. Once you step on that campus, trust and believe, you see people dressing the same, wearing the same Vans, wearing the same Jordans, because they're learning from how people are doing stuff. They're just watching, and they just start to integrate. Am I lying?
No, that's
No,
truth.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I am gonna bring us back just a little bit because I feel like now we're talking about like a little bit of contrast between like the experience that you get being an international student to compare it to like being a local.
Right.
Strap made a good point. Like the college culture is the same. Uh, that's something that we all have to go through. So you like how you deal with it is gonna be different
Right.
depending on where you come from and your values and your priorities and all that. The one thing I want us to look at as well is just like let's look at it from like a broad perspective, um, as just people or young men, young women going through college. We talked about the college culture. We talked about the partying, the drinking, the school. From what Rob said, I'm hearing peer pressure. Peer pressure in college. College is a big environment for peer pressure. So
Right.
there's a peer pressure where you feel like, man, I want to fit in. I want to look like these cool guys, or like like this is what's cool, so I want to do it as well. Um, However, today, look at us. I know you guys personally, and I know some other people that look like nothing from what they used to be in college.
Right.
They're completely different. Like I can speak for myself. Today, I consider myself a family man. I'm a family man because, just like Strap was saying, I feel more comfortable being at home and doing a little bit of this at home. And I go out and socialize with my friends, and but it's not like the way it used to be in college, where I will just be out there wanting to be out there. Today, I'm looking at my nutrition from a different
Yeah.
angle. I want to be more healthy. My fitness, I have plans. I do diets, and I do less drinking. I make plans for the future. I have a career that I'm thinking about, like making moves and all these things that I didn't think I'd be doing today. So I want us to, and you guys to, basically look back and see, hey, like all this college culture, or everything that happened, like what made you, become who you are today? Like, what was the turning point for you guys? You'll have the moment. Maybe it could be a moment, it could be a process. Like, how did you guys evolve to become who you are today? Mature,
Yeah.
basically, to be better versions of yourself.
Yeah.
Um, like,
I,
what's
yeah.
up?
I think for me it was a process. So you leave Nigeria, come here 2010, you start college 2011, you go through college, 4 years. Fortunately for me, I finished undergrad 2014 December. Um, Moved to Houston, worked for about a year, and then went back to grad school. Um, while in that process, I was still chasing something, chasing the career. Um, right out of college, first time it wasn't attainable, so worked for a bit, decided to jump back to school, and then fast forward to 2018. Now I'm in a workforce. I'm starting off my career and whatnot. For me, I felt like it's been a process, and as time went on, technology, the world changes, the Western world
Yeah,
changes. My focus career-wise, as a 2012, 2013, 2014, when I started looking for jobs, trying to get internships and whatnot. Fast forward to 2016, I was going to grad school. Um, the tech, Speaking personally, tech world changed, right? So you go from trying to be systems analyst, business analyst, all of a sudden you fast forward to 2018, and I'm in security, and then the goals change, and you're like, okay, I'm still in the same world. We're all in the same bucket. I'm just in a different niche, and you see, okay, your your past kind of helped you think critically.
yeah,
Um, from a cybersecurity perspective, just those things. I feel like, you know speaking for myself personally, those street smart things that you took, seeing how people, because you know sorry to folks to hone in on this, but from a tech perspective, people focus so much on the technology and forget the human factors of it. To me, in the security world, I feel the human piece is still the most vulnerable piece. So
Right.
my upbringings and and things like that, knowing how to view things and decipher things. How is this person really doing what you say they're doing? If you're doing an investigation, or you're looking into something specific, you those lessons, those experiences help sway you. Whereas you have a colleague who's going off the deep end or something, like, okay, relax, it's not serious as that. You gotta look at all other areas. So I feel like for me it's been a process. Sorry to kind of focus only on career things, but yeah.
Yeah. Something quick. I like what you said. You said something. You used the word niche, which is great, and you also said lessons learned. Lessons learned along the way.
Yeah.
My boy Strap got a podcast. Check it out
Yeah.
if you haven't yet.
Every
Um,
Friday.
yeah, this is good because you're definitely right. Like I think I think psychologists call it like a personality maturation.
Yeah.
And those two things you just talked about, they do influence heavily who we become today, who we are today,
Yeah.
Who you evolve into. Because the niche involves a lot of different things, and I could even place like your upbringing and your circle, the people
Yeah.
you hang out with, into the niche, and then the lessons obviously they're gonna build you.
Yeah.
Like they say, like whatever doesn't kill you, you may make you stronger, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all these lessons that you get to learn along the way, they're supposed to make you a better person. Not
Yeah.
always, but usually I would say, like if you learn your lesson, you should be able to do better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, Trap. What's up, man?
No, I was agreeing with you. You want me to add on?
Yeah. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. So, your question was the turning point, and
Yeah.
when was that realization that okay, I could be the person that I am today? For me, I strongly believe in always evaluating who you are as a person. The person I am today is not even a halfway finished product that I wanted,
Yep.
that I can even,
Definitely.
that even I can, envision myself being. So, but it's on progress to being a better person. So yes, lessons along the way, or lessons learned along the way, are references for me to learn, or for me to look at and say, oh, I made a mistake there. Mistakes are not mistakes, they're just lessons. So like you said, so we live a life picking apart mistakes and learning from them. Sorry, it could be us making the mistakes, it could be our older brothers making the mistakes, it could have
Yeah.
been even our parents that made the mistake. And I feel like we should always be a better version of the people before us, right? We should
Yeah.
be better versions of ourselves. Animals do it. Snakes, their skin shades off so they have better skin.
No.
That's it's human nature. You don't you stay stagnant if you don't look at what you did yesterday. And also you stay stagnant if you don't seek that purpose or seek that direction of change and growth. If you have that chance to wake up in the morning and stand vertical, if you were laying horizontal, I mean, that was your story. We'll always hit you with the RIPs, and we'll remember you and keep you living your deeds. But once you have that ability to stand up and be alive and inhale oxygen, it's always a chance for you to improve not only yourself, but also improve the situation around you. I mean, I always say success is helping others. And even the Bible, they say we are servicemen. We are people that serve others.
Yeah.
We don't, our purpose should not only be focused on us. So looking and comparing where the change or the turning point happened was in my mid-20s. I won't lie to you. At one time, everything was self-centered because I didn't know I was a kid. I just thought, well, and also I won't lie to you, the idea of America kind of also helped create that vision of me being self-centered, because here it's a city of dreams. You could do whatever you have to do. You have to work. The capitalistic idea makes you think like a narcissist. You have
Yeah.
blinders on. You don't care what other people are doing. It's always about you and your satisfaction. As you get older, you realize, no, it's not about you and your satisfaction. It's not satisfaction. It's not success. It's fulfillment. And I realized what makes me fulfilled. The first thing I realized that makes me fulfilled is helping my parents. As a child, I always did everything to get my parents' approval. So when you go through that you have to understand from childhood, right? We are always conditioned to make our parents happy or your
Yeah.
parent happy, whether it's report cards, whether it's
Chores.
chores. Your first person that you wanted approval from, and that fulfill, so I was chasing, we even as a grown-up, you remember, you start to think about, oh, I'm still chasing fulfillment, not success, because you could reach the highest, you make new goals, but you're not fulfilled. So
Yeah.
looking at that at 25, I had to look and see, and maybe 26, 27, and I had to realize maybe as I was developing in the United States, I developed narcissism. Sorry, I became narcissistic, and I forgot that I am not. I'm not self-made. No, I'm not. I'm not. My job in this world is to help others, because other people helped me to get where I got. Whether it be the people that grow the food that we eat, whether it's the people that mop the buildings that you work in, whether it's whether it's your wife, your girlfriend who helps you, who motivates you, who's there to be your confidant, to be someone to get you thinking right again. So we need to, and that's for me the biggest change, is not thinking that whole rap thing, self-made. It's all BS. It's all BS. And as you get older, you start to realize, man, I had some awesome people around me. And even sometimes you could help people and motivate people without you knowing that you're motivating them, by being successful, or showing them a way to be successful, or showing them a way to be a good boyfriend, or showing them a way to be a good husband, or showing them a way to be a good father through your deeds. So the idea of switching from, it's not about me, it's about being a serviceman, being a server. Serve. It's okay to be a server. Help. Everything you have, you get more by giving. And that's all I have to say about that. But that was a turning point.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's great, man. That's great to hear that. Both you guys made great points. I know we're getting close to the end of our pod for today. But before we go, let me say this. You know how they say, where there's a will, there's a way. And also, as long as you can see the sunlight, there's hope. This is what I'm saying to our listeners and viewers. We should always intentionally seek growth.
Yeah.
Don't settle for less. Don't settle for what you have today, who you are today. There's always opportunity for you to grow. Don't worry about what's going on in your life today. Don't look back and say, man, why are things not going the way I want? Why nothing's going my way? As long as you're blessed with the breath of life, you should always seek growth, because we, like Strap was saying, like, we are not even where we're supposed to be yet.
Right.
All of us are still evolving, are still maturing, growing as people. So we're all within the process. We're all going through those stages of life. So you should never worry or not want to see growth and become the better version of yourself. Sky is the limit for all of
Yeah.
us. So yeah, to our listeners, I hope you guys enjoy this. Yeah, what's up, Dipo?
I got one quick thing for Strap. You can't answer it. It's up to you. But when he talked about being an artist, he's still one, and servanthood, right? From your Empower days, as a producer, as an engineer, as an artist, as a servant to a lot of artists, can you name your top 5 MCs from Empower days?
Man, I have to think about that. You have to go through like memory banks. I mean, there were good
Off the
talents out there. So
off the top,
off the top, I would say Los. I would say Big B. I would say Nikita.
Okay.
I'll say Ernest was good. Make it fast breasting. In no order. It's a top 5, but I'm thinking I could think more. I have to think more.
Yeah.
I can't remember. T. Lee.
But yeah.
There was talent out there. So, all right, fellas. As we've come to the conclusion, listeners, viewership, we appreciate you for supporting us. We're seeing the numbers slowly growing up. I mean, it's slow,
Yeah.
it's gradual. We appreciate you. Tell your friends, tell their friends to tell their friends to share, subscribe to our YouTube. Let's get those numbers up. And we will even start a segment where we'll ask even our audience, if we get a big audience, to give us topics so we could talk about what you guys have in mind, okay? And from our
Definitely.
opinions. What do you think, guys? That would be
Definitely,
cool.
man.
That's
Yeah,
solid.
that'll
Yeah,
be
and
nice.
we should also think about a way to start some live sessions so we could get immediate feedback, so we could have a debate. I don't like arguments, debates on what you guys think we could talk about. Okay, we appreciate you. Peace and love. It's the Center Street Boys, and we are out.
Salute.
Salute.